everyone, I'm sitting down with Sundas Khalid. She is an OG tech and data content creator. So if you've been on social media the last few years looking up data content, you probably recognize her. Today, we're going to be learning all about what it takes to become a data scientist and how she got to where she is today, doing data science at Google. Was that a good intro?
That was a great intro. Thank you so much, Jess.
Why am I more comfortable on my own channel? Like filming with you, I was like, yes. Me, I'm like, this is my channel, let's go.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here, give me space.
Okay. So we're gonna get straight into it because we have a lot of data tea to unpack today. So how many years have you been a data scientist in your career?
So I've been working in tech for about 11 years.
Wow.
And I actually started as a data engineer at Amazon. I discovered data scientist role accidentally, and then I transitioned from data engineer to data scientist role. And it's been, total 11 years working in the industry, and it's been a journey.
Wow, that's a lot of experience because I feel like 11 years is enough time for you to kind of see trends like come and go and kind of see things change over time.
Yeah, 100%. I have seen the data scientist and data analyst role evolve over the last few years. And data engineer, back when I was a data engineer, it was not the hot thing. Now data engineer is like everywhere.
Yeah. For sure. So you're a principal analytical lead at Google, which is a mouthful to say.
Mouthful.
What does your day-to-day look like doing data science at Google? If you could tell us about the type of work you're doing and the business problems you're kind of thinking about.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So a little bit of background, I actually work on Google search ads. So basically anytime you search on Google and you look for red shoes or like Harry Potter book, and if you see an ad on Google search or shopping, I'm just saying people are going to be like, you are the person selling us ads. But I'm part of the team. So if you see an ad come on the search page or on the shopping page, that is through my team. And in terms of like the data science perspective, it's evolved in all aspects of that space, whether that is like understanding what's happening to like testing a new feature. So I personally do a lot of like A/B testing, geo-based testing, a lot of experimentation, a lot of like deep analysis to try to understand what's actually happening, specifically with the advertisement and combined with user behavior and so on. For example, if we're launching a new feature, it has to be like tested before. And I don't know if we're going to talk more about experimentation, but like I can definitely go deeper into experimentation because my previous role, I was working at Amazon and I was part of their central experimentation team. And my core role, the day-to-day, was running experimentation. So going back to your original question, like in terms of my day-to-day depends on like what project I'm doing. So previous week, when I was working on that analysis, I was like focusing on heads down work, like just doing the work. This week, I'm focusing more on like putting whatever I have found into a document. And then next week, I'm gonna like be focusing on like making sure like that document is ready to present, and if there's like any objection handling I need to do when I present it to stakeholders, I'm able to do that.
Wow.
And then following week, I might spend time while going on back to either taking a step back, like redoing my analysis or like rerunning the experiment or launching the feature, depending on how the analysis goes. But it totally depends like on day to day. And I think that's like one of the reasons like the data science work is so exciting because you don't get bored. You're always doing something different. And I'm sure like it's similar to data analyst role as well. So it keeps you on your toes because the learning never stops. As soon as you think you learned something, you have to keep going and learn again. So learn something new again.
Okay, that is so cool. I feel like paid media and marketing are a really interesting space to be in, working with data, and I think it's really cool as well. You do a lot of technical work, a lot of presenting to stakeholders and kind of documenting your work. So how did you get into that role? Because I know a lot of you watching right now, everybody wants a data science job at Google. How did you get that role?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I actually interviewed 3 times at Google before I actually got this job. Wow. I got rejected the first 2 times. So just to say that it wasn't easy, but one thing I didn't do is I didn't give up. I kept going. And another thing I would say, like I did have a referral. So I did had somebody watching for me to have me part of the interviews. But after they got me to the interview, it was up to me to like see where I end up with it. Do I get a job offer or not? I was also coming from Amazon, and I had 7 years of experience there working as a data engineer, data scientist, and that I had an excellent profile. So Google had no reasons to say no, but also having a referral and passing an interview, I think it was definitely was a struggle, because the first time when I interviewed, I messed up one of the technical rounds, and I knew that I messed up, and I knew I was not gonna get the offer. But it wasn't that bad. But I waited like a year, and then I applied again. And the second time, my interview was excellent because I learned from my mistakes.
Perfect.
But at that time, they found somebody more experienced in the specific niche that they were in. So they ended up going with that person. And third time, like, all the interviews were perfect again, and everything just aligned perfectly, and I got the offer, and I ended up joining Google back in 2019. And if you are somebody who is like trying to get into FAANG, like, I think getting into FAANG is, a lot of people want to get there because of like salaries and whatnot. I would say, like, figure out your reasons why you want to work there. If money, like, I don't think anything is wrong with saying like money is the reason. If that's the reason, fine. If there's something else, fine. You want to work on problems at a larger scale, great reason to work in big tech. But I would say, like, you have to like start preparing and start working your profile and resume in ahead of time. One of the less resistant way of getting into big tech as your first job is through an internship, and that is also tied to like good schools, because a lot of like big school names have like connections and through the internship and whatnot. My school didn't have any connection with Google, and that's why, like, when I graduated, I didn't have any people in my network who actually worked at Google, and I had to do cold message on LinkedIn. My first
love LinkedIn.
My first connection at Google was through a cold message on LinkedIn.
Wow.
Yeah, and I met that person for coffee, and they like introduced me to the Google culture and whatnot. Yeah, but I still have that message, and I reached out to that person years later. But going back to your question, getting sidetracked, back to your question, like, if you are in a school, like, try to get through internships, because in my opinion, that's like one of the best ways to get in. If you didn't get it through internship, like, don't give up. Get experience as an intern anywhere. Internship anywhere like adds value to your portfolio, and try as a entry level. That doesn't work, like, try again. But also, like, going back to building your network, which I know you talk a lot about, is once you have your network, it will help you basically get those referrals. And more than that, like, it will also help you understand the type of culture that this company prefers. And they can also help you, like, with interview prep as well. So the person that referred me actually helped me quite a bit with interviews. He mock interviewed me and whatnot. But anyways, the point of me saying is that, like, strategize, put in the work, build your network, utilize everything that you have been working on, and then use that to get to the job that you want to get. That's a very long-winded answer, but in short, just put in the work. Figure out what exact work you need to do.
Yeah, that was a long answer, but filled with so much knowledge and little tidbits. So I hope y'all are taking notes, because that was just such an insider look on how you were actually able to get your role. And you mentioned briefly that your school didn't have, like, the FAANG connections, and you feel like you didn't, have those resources available to you at the time. What did you study in school?
Yeah. So I went to actually business school. In my family, like, nobody works in tech. So growing up, I didn't even know tech is a career. Like, people can work from their computers. Like, I didn't know that. And no, I'm serious.
No, that's actually really funny.
No, I'm serious. I didn't know that. We didn't have a computer in the house. I didn't have my first phone until I was like 18. And it was actually after getting into business school and taking one of the class there, which was called information systems.
That's how I found data too. Information systems.
Way.
Yes.
My advisor was like, you have to take all the classes, because even when you're in business school, I was at University of Washington, Foster School of Business, which is also a very competitive business school to get into. And my advisor told me, like, try all the classes, because you have to pick a minor. So I took marketing, I took finance, I took accounting, and I took information systems. And when I took information systems, I was like, oh my God, I love this class, and this is what I want to do. But since I was a transfer student, I was too close to graduation that I couldn't change my major. But I ended up doing a lot of certifications outside, learned on my own. I knew enough that I was able to land an internship at Amazon. Wow. My school did have connection with Amazon.
Oh,
so
that's convenient.
I did get an internship through my school at Amazon, and then I did an excellent job at the internship, and then I got a return offer. It just didn't have connections with Google.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so your school did have some connections.
Yeah. It's a competitive school, so it did have some connections.
I really said your school had no connections.
No.
That is crazy, because I had the exact same, like, I had the exact same journey. So I
Really?
was a business minor in school. I was a math and Spanish double major, a business minor, and I had to also take intro to marketing, intro to finance, intro to accounting, and then information systems.
Yeah.
I took it because I needed like an easy A my senior year. And by that point, it was too late for me to switch. I was like, data's so cool. So I was already like committed to like graduating, that year. I wasn't going to like change and start over.
Yeah.
And that's why I went to grad school.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yeah, me neither.
Because
we didn't talk about this beforehand.
yeah, because I thought you had, like, you told me you had masters in business analytics, and I was trying to figure out why.
Well,
why math from business analytics? Now that makes a lot of sense.
Well, yeah, it's because it's through information systems. I got that on-campus job, and
all information system professors are doing something.
They're converting everyone into data people.
Yeah. So maybe if you are in business school, like take that information system class. Now,
you never know.
You don't know. You might want to be a data scientist or a data analyst or a data engineer. Yeah.
Something that I think is really interesting about your story that is also super inspiring is that you dropped out of high school. And I'm sure that was extremely difficult to go through at the time, but you ultimately made the decision to go back to school and, restart your career. And now look at you in data science at Google, you've accomplished so many amazing things. So what advice would you have for someone that might be in a similar situation, either restarting their career or going back to school after a long time? What advice would you give to them?
First of all, yes, it's true. I did have to drop out of high school. I have a 6-year gap between high school and college. And the reason I decided to go back to school because I had a near-death experience when I had my second kid. And to me, that was like a life-changing moment, because in that moment I realized I want to do something with my life and I want to go back to school. I want to build an identity for myself, which I ended up doing. It was very tough because when I started, my son was still an infant, but the first few years were really hard. We didn't have a lot of money as well, so that was also tough because couldn't afford childcare. But it was a lot of hard work. I can talk about it for days, all the stories and everything that I had to do. But what I would say, it was so worth it. And if I had to do it all over again, I would do it. I don't know how I would do it because it was not easy, but I would do it all over again. And to anybody who is also considering going back to school, or you're currently in school and you're trying to find that motivation and inspiration, I would say just look at your end goal. What exactly are you going toward? And put in the work, because you truly have to be passionate about it to be able to put in the work. Yes, it's tough right now, but it will get easier. One thing I tell my kids is that you can either work hard now and seek the benefit later, or you can have it easy now and then have it hard later. So I'm not saying my life is easier now. I literally work 9 to 5 and a side hustle.
You work
9
to 9.
I work 9 to 9, 7 days a week. But my life is easier than what it was. And that's because I put in the work. And if you are trying to figure out if it's worth it, I'm telling you it's 100% worth it.
I'm literally tearing up. Also, I lost my voice. We're at a conference and I've been yapping too much all week. But I'm literally emotional because I just love successful women, and I just think you're the coolest person ever. I followed you when I was first starting out in data. I was, I guess in probably maybe undergrad, maybe grad school is when I first started following you. I was still on my journey, and you're someone that
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was a newish data analyst, kind of learning. I was figuring myself out, and you were one of the OGs online.
Oh my God.
So even just the fact that I'm you've gone through all these crazy things and gone to where you are, and now I'm sitting on a couch with you in a hotel room. I'm it's just so crazy to me. But yeah, you just have such an inspiring story, and you're also a mother. This woman does it all. She's literally incredible.
Thank you. You're so kind.
I love you.
I love you more.
Okay, anyways. I hope you feel really inspired after hearing about how she got where she is. But after you became a data scientist, what happened? How did you grow your salary over time to where you are now? So if you could walk us through your starting salary and then every single salary in between, whatever you're comfortable sharing. We love to talk. We love to talk money.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I have shared this before, so I'm happy to share it. And I actually wrote it down. So I can give you the entire 11-year trend. So when I started as an intern, which was in 2013 at Amazon, I was making about $40 an hour. And then I got my full-time job as a data engineer in 2014, where I was making annually $68,000 a year. Completely different story as to why I was making so little as a data engineer for a technical role. story for another time. But 2016, my salary increased from $68,000 to $130,000. And at this point, I got promoted and also transitioned to data scientist. 2019, my salary, total compensation, and when I say salary, I mean total compensation, which includes salary, stocks, and bonus. In 2019, my total compensation was $230,000. At this point, I actually got a counter offer from Microsoft and took that to my manager. And I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing about this? Because I don't want to leave, like, help me. And I cover all of this in my salary negotiation course. But in 2025, or 2024 and 2025, my income is ranging somewhere from like 300 to 400K, but I actually make more from my content. So you can do the math.
Let's do the math, guys.
It's easy.
Honestly, thank you for sharing in such detail, because salary transparency is super important. It really helps aspiring data analyst or data scientists or current data scientists just see like what is really possible. And you briefly mentioned your salary negotiation course. I'm curious, what can people expect to learn in the course, and who should take the course?
Yeah, the course is for anyone who wants to understand what are the different components of a total compensation package and what are the different levers you have when it comes to negotiation, when exactly you need to start planning, what do you need to do, what do you need to say to the recruiter, and how do you need to handle that conversation. So it walks you through all of that. There's like exercises that you can do, and then you finish with like having there's a 5-year projection spreadsheet that you graduate. There's a you also get like several like worksheets. One of them is like 5-year salary projection that you can use to kind of like as a negotiation lever. But yeah, if you are interested, regardless of what your role, tech, non-tech, like that's a great introduction to salary negotiation and understanding your compensation. Because one mistake that I made very early on is like not negotiating my salary. For example, the data engineer salary of $68,000. Yeah, and I'm sure you can relate.
It's not great.
All newbies do end up making mistakes at some point about money.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the financial investment that you make into a course is like most definitely going to get you a huge ROI, because imagine someone takes your course and they negotiate $5,000 or $20,000, you know, like you're going to get your money back, and learning from someone who's been there, done that, and gotten these huge raises. I mean, y'all would be silly to not learn that from her. So go take her course. So you work in data science, I'm in data analytics. What recommendation do you have for people in this job market? Should people go for data science or data analytics, and how do they figure that out for themselves?
Yeah, the answer is actually very simple. As a data scientist, you need to understand statistics and machine learning very well. And there are two types of people. Either you really like statistics or you don't. So maybe take a basic stats 101 course. Data scientists, the Harvard Business Review said in 2008 or whenever, that data scientist is the sexiest job in 21st century. It's not, but it's still very exciting. And if that excites you, then definitely take a stats 101 course and see like if this is something that you actually enjoy. Because the thing is, like, data scientists, the learning will never stop. Every project that I have to do, I have to learn something new and then actually apply it. So again, goes back to like, what exactly are you passionate about? Are you passionate about data analytics, which is more around like understanding data, understanding patterns, like building reports, building dashboards? If that is the type of stuff that you like doing, then become a data analyst. If there's like more, you want to do more stats and machine learning and coding heavy, then become a data scientist. So again, it goes back to your interest and your passion and what you are willing to put the work toward.
Yeah, I know people ask me all the time, do you have to be good at math to be a data analyst? Would you say that people have to be good at math to be a data scientist?
No.
Really?
No.
Oh, I'm surprised.
No. I would say if you're doing core machine learning, if you're a machine learning, core machine learning, or a machine learning engineer or AI engineer, you need to understand math. But most data scientists, generalist data scientists, they are using the pre-existing, pre-built models, whether those are machine learning or stats, and they are just using that to solve business problems and product problems. They are not writing the models by scratch. So if you're writing the model by scratch, then yes, you need to know math.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend writing the model from scratch. That's just my recommendation.
I mean, unless you're in research.
Yeah, maybe if you're in a research role, but yeah. So you've been in data science for about 11 years now. I'm sure you've seen a bunch of things and learned a lot over the 11 years. What is one thing that you know now that you wish you knew when you first started out as a data scientist?
This is a great question. I would say like the first thing I wish I knew is that I wanted to become a data scientist. In school, I would have done computer science with focus on stats and machine learning. I actually had to learn on my own, and although I saved money and probably time, I don't know how much time I saved, it was not easy. It was very difficult. It took a lot of dedication. So I wish I could go back. If I were to go back, like I will definitely pursue a CS degree and with focus on machine learning and stats. And other things that I wish I knew is that the learning is not going to stop. Like I put in the work, but to this date, I have to like continuously keep evolving and keep learning because tech is like such a industry that you have to like, there are always new things coming. Now there is AI. When I started, nobody even talked about AI. Right. So things have evolved and you have to like keep evolving with the industry to keep yourself relevant and keep yourself like job market friendly.
Job market friendly.
Job market friendly, yeah. And also, nobody told me back then that interviews are going to be so difficult. And I think we talked about this earlier, like interviews sometimes do not match the actual skill set. But for data scientists, the interviews are all over the place because they cover so much in stats, they cover so much in machine learning, they cover so much in coding, SQL, Python, and they cover so much in like business and product sense. So it's all over the place. So no matter how much you prepare, I feel like I'm never enough prepared. So
yeah, that's really good advice. So if you're not doing well in interviews, just know that there's a good chance that it's nothing about you. It might just not be the right fit for you and your skill set. You briefly mentioned AI, and I know that's a very trendy topic right now. There's been a lot of AI advancements lately. Are there any AI trends that you're actually using right now in your work? Like what AI tools are you using in the day-to-day?
Yeah, one of the things that I'm noticing is that there's a lot more AI integration into the existing products. Such as like at work, I have access to Gemini everywhere. I have access to Gemini in my Gmail. Like if there's a very long thread, I can use Gemini to summarize it for me. And I have validated it multiple times. It's always does a really, really good job. It's integrated into Looker Studio, which is our dashboard, Google's dashboard Tableau version. And then it's integrated into Slides and a lot of the other tools that we have access to. So as techie, I'm supposed to like use those tools and like use those to kind of like improve my productivity. I have written docs using Gemini. I have like done a lot of work that would have taken me like days to finish using Gemini. I've been able to like increase my productivity by 2x on specific tasks, not everything, on specific tasks. I would say like doc writing has been amazing. I also, when I'm like preparing for presentation, for example, I did some work and now I need to go presentation. My doc is probably like 6-page long. I will upload it to Gemini and I'll be like, can you give me like 6 major points that I should cover in my 3-minute summary when I do this presentation?
Wow.
Yesterday I had a meeting at work and I was preparing for it for one of the analysis I did. And I basically imported it to Gemini and I said like, I have this meeting, I need to prepare. Can you catch me up on the summary of the doc or the analysis? Because I did it a while ago. So I'm prepared and able to speak to it. So that has been a major trend. And I think a lot of companies have adopted AI integration into their like tools and products that they're using. Mm-hmm. So we're going to see more and more companies adopting these technologies. And with the goal that this is going to boost your productivity. Do I think it's going to replace me? I don't know. It can replace maybe my doc writing, but I don't think it's going to replace every parts of my job. It is going to improve parts of my job, and I want it to improve because I would rather use my time doing something more creative than just getting stuck on a blank page of paper trying to figure out how to start this doc. And another tool that I've been using quite a bit is Notebook LM. Notebook LM is basically a RAG where you upload your documents and you can like ask it questions. You can build your own. I think the custom GPT is the right word, but like with Notebook LM, it's like way more powerful because you can plug in a lot more, and you can also turn it into a podcast if you're trying to learn something new. And you can learn it in a fun podcast, AI podcast, and you can actually have a conversation with the podcast, which is super interesting.
That is super cool. I'm gonna have to try that.
It's free, so it's accessible to everybody.
Wow.
Yeah.
For a second, I was starting to think that this was sponsored by Gemini.
I love Gemini. I am so happy that it's integrated into my workspace. I don't know how I will
nice.
go back.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
And you have an AI course, don't you?
Yeah, so as we all know, AI is the future, and that's the direction we're heading into. It's great to be a user of AI, but if you are interested in becoming a practitioner of AI and want to build AI LLM apps, then that's exactly what the course teaches you. And it starts from the foundation, like what is LLMs, what is it made of. You don't need any background in math or AI or machine learning. We'll cover that all in the course. You only need to know Python. You need to know Python because that's how we're going to apply and build LLM apps. So if that's something that you're interested in, like I definitely teach that a lot more in detail.
Wow, that's awesome. If you're looking for a good intro, that is a hands-on
intro that is hands-on and has LLM in it.
Yeah, if you're looking for a good intro, if you're looking for
no, finish your laughter first. I can do this. If you're looking for a good intro to AI engineering and hands-on LLM app development, you definitely have to consider the course. You will finish with 5 projects that you can actually put on your resume. And in the last project, we'll focus on building an actual hands-on app that you will build yourself and also add it to your resume. So
that's really cool, and I'm sorry for laughing. I'm in a silly mood.
We have been so caffeinated. So caffeinated.
Okay. Well, anyways, thank you so much for joining today, and I hope you all learned so much about data science at Google. Definitely subscribe below to both of us, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye!